that organizations while doing business, meaning thereby that organizations while doing business should not only think of increasing in profit but also should also understand their responsibility towards society and environment. He suggests that organizations should make efforts to address all the three through their business opportunity. So you cannot only focus on what you can say profit. Okay, you have to see everything: profit, people, and planet. Okay, then only that is your corporate responsibility. Then CSR and sustainable business. CSR addresses the issue which are beyond earning profit. They relate with the governance of organizations, help in upholding human rights and labor rights, help in serving large goods of the society, and compelling organizations to conserve environment. But there are not the only reason. Today, the organizations are ready to embrace and practice CSR because they see a business sense in it. Some of those aspects which enhance sustainability business are as follows. First is so what are the positive contribution or impact of this towards the environment or society? First is reduction in operational costs. CSR helps companies to look for ways and means to reduce their operational cost. Then it is for the reason that there are margins of improving solution in the area of procurement, procedure, recycle water, and energy consumption. Then right leadership in corporate sector. One reason for taking up CSR is to development of right leadership within the corporate sector. It's established the organization that act as leader and establish practices and benchmarks for industries to follow. Okay, these are the two aspects where your corporate responsibility also comes into action. Then higher productivity and quality. Companies giving importance to the triple bottom line focuses on engaging employees in CSR initiatives and improve organizational governance, which has a positive impact on the people, leading to increased productivity and quality. Then access to capitality. Such companies also invite those investors who are especially interested in investing in firms that are aware of the triple bottom line and CSR work. So the banks and other financial institutes pay close attention to the sustainability aspects of the business while considering them for bank loan and other financial support. Okay. So those who are doing CSR properly, they have a more chance of getting a loan from the bank. Increase sales and customer loyalty. The customers values those companies which are socially responsible. This helps in increasing sales and leading to satisfied customers. Then enhance brand images and brand values. Currently, organizations design communication plans around their CSR plan and activities so that the consumers know how care is being taken by the organization to conduct the responsible business. So due to this, the branding, the image of the brand also increases and the brand value increases. Then evolution and scope. As mentioned earlier, CSR evolved over a period of time into its current form and shape. It is important for us to understand that it is a concept that is understood differently by people all over the world, and it is still evolving. So it is not like the CSR has stopped evolving. It is evolving every day. New things are being done by corporates, okay, to show people that they are this much good. Okay. In tradition, CSR in India is quite old. Although it has not been persuaded in the term of CSR, the corporate here have already been interested in going for good. Moreover, like we see, wherever there is a steel plant, we see the town also developed, the township developed. Okay. Moreover, in companies to the west, it has also been found that the concept of social good is more seated in Asian society, including India. Just a moment. Then, so in India, it is the tradition of CSC is already there, and Asian societies is also there. A fine illustration of this is the context of the letter shared by Gandhi, 1995, as cited in the Chakraborty, 1998. Jamshedji Tata wrote to his son in 1902, be sure to lay wide street planted with shade trees. Be sure that there is plenty of space for lawns and gardens. Reserve large areas for football, hockey and parks. Enmark areas for Hindu temple, Mohammedan mosque and Christian church. And the tradition continues till date, carrying on the philosophy of social responsibility in the organization. So it is important to understand that CSR is a dynamic concept. It has good defined by the expectation that society has from the business and has evolved over the period of time all over the world, and the practice of charity, philanthropy and trueship are considered as early form of social responsibility practiced by the business. Then CSR initiative by companies. Say first is your Tatas. Okay, they are the best in CSR. Okay, Tata Group command leadership when it comes to understand the needs of internal and external stakeholders. They have contributed to nation building. So there are manufacturing plants and facilities, but Tata Group has also pioneered in employee welfare schemes and policies, much ahead of any government of the time. Birla, as a business family, Birla practices charity and philanthropy. They have, to their credit, many school, colleges, social welfare institutions, museums all across India. Currently, they are just a minute. Sorry for the inconvenience. So Birla is also one of the active player in the area of CSR, and Aditya Birla engaged in active in the area of CSR with the following mission: to actively contribute to the social and economic development of the communities in which we operate. In doing so, building better sustainable ways of life for the weaker section. One of the best example of Birla is the Birla Temple in Goa, near Beats Pilani, the Beats Institute, which is a Birla Institute of Technology. Beats Pilani, they have made a Birla temple dedicated to Lord Krishna. Okay, it's a very good temple. Okay, you can see there. So these are all comes under your CSR. Then Wipro, for the last many years, Wipro has engaged itself actively into social and environmental activities. In fact, it has built a strong foundation through its planning CSR activities in these areas. From the implementation of this program, Wipro uses its different channels. First is Wipro Foundation, which is a trust that gets established in April 2017. Second is Wipro Cares, which is a trust for employee contribution, and the operation groups of the company implements its biodiversity project directly. Okay. So it is a nation level program, and Wipro has engaged more than 12,500 schools and colleges and 6,000 educators, and has reached out to 37 students since then. Then Infosys Limited is also known for its CSR activity. In the year 2019, it spent 342 crores on CSR, which are 0.2 crore more than the prescribed CSR expenditure of 340 crores, 2% of the net profit of INR 17,018 crores. Infosys Foundation, the CSR trust, undertakes the CSR activities of the company. The trust was established in 1996 and networked with NGOs, which act as implementation arms for the trust. So some of the initiatives run by the trust are Arohan, the Social Innovative Award, restoration of water bodies in Karnataka, supporting the construction of a metro station in partnership with Bangalore Metro Rail Corporation Limited, Go Sports Foundation to enable the pursuit of access of excellence in sports, and participating in relief efforts in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala during calamities. Then ITC has long worked in making CSR strategies. It has generated models of CSR which have led to in 2019. So in 2019, the company collaborated with DIF Development Research Foundation, Pratham Education Foundation, Ramakrishna Mission, Bandhan Konargam, Seva Bharat, Foundation for Ecological Security, ITC Sangeet Research Academy, ITC Rural Development Trust, and CII ITC Center for Excellence for Sustainable Development to implement its CSR program in 2019 and has continuous effort since then. Then Adidas, huge push has been given by company for ethical and environmental aware business practices. In 2019, the company produced more than 5 million pairs of shoes containing recycled plastic products, and changes made in office and warehouse helped them to save 40 tons of plastic. And using recycled material in football team Bear Munch uniform has clearly paid off. Then Microsoft has ensured that their product range remains competitive but fair. This helps in maintaining a consistent revenue stream and improve company's reputation among customers who who don't ever feel like they have been taken advantage of. Also, Microsoft is exceptional at typing their product to a certain set of ethics and branding. People feel good about purchasing Microsoft products even when things go wrong. The company achieves this by making themselves vulnerable, staying devoted to an attitude of transparency and a willingness and a willingness to admit the error on their part. Another thing that might have positive contribution to Microsoft is the work done by the founder Bill Gates through Melinda and Gates Foundation. We all must be knowing about Melinda and Gates Foundation. Okay, it is a foundation which helps in improving the people, or helps in providing education and services to the poor and needy people. So these are some of the philanthropic, or you can say CSR responsibilities of different big companies as of today. So any doubts in this section? Or are you clear
Sir,
with CSR? Yes.
Sir, that points of higher productivity quality. So what we do mean by triple bottom line? It is giving
What
company
do you mean
gives
by
importance to triple
triple?
bottom line.
Yeah, that is I first told. No? Triple bottom line means that 3 P's. Those are the triple bottom line: profit, people, and person.
Okay, sir.
Okay, means you cannot only focus on the profit. You have to focus on the people also, and the profit, people, and telling you the 3 P's.
3P. Estimate 3P.
Yes, profit, people, and planet. Sorry.
Plan.
Okay, the 3 P's. This is the triple bottom line, or TBL. The concept is called as TBL, or idea of 3 P's. Okay, or triple bottom line, which means profit, people, and planet. Means you cannot destroy people and planet to get profit. Okay, so while you are earning profit, you also have to focus that the people are taken care of and the planet is taken care of. You cannot destroy environment. You cannot misuse people to get profit. Okay, this is a triple bottom line, or TBL.
Okay, sir.
Clear? Yes. And any more doubts? So accordingly, CSR in India and Companies Act 2013, the concept here is not new to India, and this business at large and organization in India in recent history have contributed to the social good in forms of donations, charity, philanthropy, trustees, etc. But 2013 turned out a landmark for business companies in India. CSR was made mandatory by Minister of Corporation Affairs, Government of India, by including it under the Sector 135 to Company Act 2013, and what constituted CSR activity under laws as specific in Schedule 7 to Companies Act of 2013. So now CSR has become compulsory. So the Act will need you to formulate and recommend the board of CSR policy, which will indicate the activities, to recommend the amount of expenditure to be incurred in the activity, and to monitor CSR policy of the company from time to time. These are the main things which should be done by a corporate. So what are the objectives? Eradicating hunger, poverty and malnutrition, promoting healthcare, promoting education, including special education and employment, enhance vocational skill, promoting gender equality, empowering women, setting up homes, ensuring environmental sustainability, ecological balances, protection of flora and fauna, animal welfare, agroforestry, conservation of natural resources, and maintaining quality of soil, air, and water. Then protection of national heritage arts and culture. You must have known that due to the industries present in Agra, the Taj Mahal was getting black. So very quickly all these, what you can say, the companies were banned to save the natural historical heritage. Okay. Then measure for the benefits of armed force veterans who are widows, those who are fighting for us in the what you can say in the border. They should be taken care of also. Then training to promote rural sports, national recognition sports, parametric sports and Olympic sports, contribute to Private Minister National Relief Fund or any other fund set up by the central government for social economic development, contribution of fund provided to technological incubators located within academic institutions, then rural development projects, slum area development. So all this comes under your CSR, and which is compulsory for all companies who are doing business. Then standard guideline initiatives and indices. The first question that comes to your mind is, what are standard guidelines, initiatives indicated in CSR? So let's begin with the example of sustainable indices. Sustainable indices are the instrument to measure the responsibility of certain companies' social and environmental area. Okay. So like the Company Act 2013 in India, okay, like OECD guidelines and GRI guidelines, reporting guidelines. One may say that CSR is to be deciphered and understood by each company in its own way, because each company nature of business, size, priorities, supply chain, etc. is different. In this section, we will discuss about the prominent indices, standards and initiatives. OECD guidelines stands for Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is an international organization that works to build better policies to bring prosperity, equality, opportunity and well-being for all. It is not more than 60 years old and has members of 37 countries, which are primarily developed countries. OECD works with government policymakers and citizens to establish evidence-based international standards and finding solutions to a range of social, economic and environmental changes. So more than 40 countries, together representing 85% of foreign direct investment, have endorsed on the OECD guidelines. So OECD guidelines constitute the oldest set of guidelines that address the role of business in economic, social and environmental development, much before the corporate embraced the idea of CSR. Then GRI, Sustainability Report Guidelines, the headquarters is Netherlands. GRI that creates the reporting framework used in the disclosing their sustainable performance. Demand its use by organization as a basis for the information disclosure. So first launched in 2001, GRI Sustainable Reporting Guidelines are extensively used by MNCs, multinational companies, government organizations, small and medium enterprises, SMEs and NGOs and industry groups in more than 90 countries for making sustainable reports. In 2017, 60% of largest 100 companies, N100 and 70% of global Fortune 250, G250 use GRI report framework for their sustainable reporting. The idea for developing a framework for sustainable reporting was conceived in 1997, and the draft GRI Sustainable Report Guidelines were first released in 1999. Two parts. It has been divided in two parts. Principle for defining report context. These describes in details the process that is to be applied to identify content of the report based on the organized activity. Stakeholders inclusiveness, sustainable context as defined and adopted by the company. Materiality, is the context of the topic and indicator that reflects economic, social, and environmental impact of the company. Then completeness in terms of practices adopted to collect the information and its reasonable and appropriate representation in the report from the core principle. Then principle for defining report quality. This principle guides companies in ensuring the quality of the information that is reported by the company. So it should be the following principles. First is balance, where the company reports on positive and negative aspects of the organization. Performance, presence, and unbiased picture. Then comparability, which means the organization selects, compiles, and reports information consistently and presents it in a manner that stakeholders are able to not only track and analyze the change in the organization's performance over a period of time, but also related to the reporting. Then timeline, meaning the company's report on regular scheme. Then clarity, meaning the information is not only available but is accessible. Then reliable, meaning the organization should collect, compile, analysis, and disclose information in such a manner that it can reproduce, examine, and audit. Then ISO 2600, the International Guidelines Standards on Social Responsibility of Organization. Okay, the CSI is mainly governed by this. The government, industry, labor, consumers, NGOs, and service support, research, and other SSROs. It was released in 2010 and provides detailed guidelines on understanding, integrity, and implementation of social responsibility through the organization. So it identifies 7 core subjects of social responsibility: organizational governance, human rights, labor issues, consumer issues, environment, fair operational practices, and community involvement and development. Dow Jones Sustainability Index, or DJSI, are families of best-in-class benchmark for investors who have recognized their sustainable business practices are critical to generate long-term shareholders value and who wish to reflect their sustainable convenience in their investment portfolio. FTSE4 Good Index. The FTSE4 Good Index is a series of ethical stock market indices launched in 2001 by FTSE Group, which trades as FTSE Russell in the British provider of stock market indices and associated data services, wholly owned by London Stock Exchange. So it will design and demonstrating strong environmental, social, and governance practices. For creating or assessing sustainability investment products, the clear definition ESG criteria makes FTSE Good Index approaches tool to be used by a wide array of organizations. As financial products, they can be used as tools for creating indices to track investment, financial instrument, or fund produce focused or sustainable investment. For research, they can be used in identifying companies that are environmentally and socially sustainable. As reference, they can be used as a global ESG standard against which companies can assess their progress. For benchmarking, to track the performance of sustainable investment portfolios, these standards can be used as benchmark index. NGOs and CSR, non-government organizations, have long been in exercise across the globe. NGOs are basically a non-profit group that functions independently of any government. NGOs, sometimes called civil societies, are organized on the community, nation, and international level to serve a social or political goal. So, important part of any society is NGOs are the important part of any society because they reach through people, places, people and issues that even the government or organization are not able to reach or address. That is why NGOs are important. So there have been different names in different countries. They may be national or international. Gonji, Childline India, Child in Need Institute, Kath Asta, Prayas Sanstha, Pradhan, Urmal, Sevaj, etc. are some of the Indian NGOs where Action Aid, Save the Children, Oxfam, Care, Markovs, etc. are some of the international NGOs. So that's how NGOs can be helped in CSR also. Then come to the next unit, Internet and Environmental Management. So any doubts in the last unit I covered?
No, sir. Means, what type of question will come in that unit? Comparison between NGO, CSR, and like this.
No. See, there are two types of question mainly it may be coming. What is CSR? That is one very basic question it can come. Okay. Then another can come how NGOs and other organization help in attending CSR.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Help in CSR.
Yes.
Okay, sir. You can start next unit.
Yes. Okay. So internet and environment. So environment management, a term encompassing environment planning, protection, monitoring, assessment, research, education and conservation and sustainable use of resources. So for sustainable development and EM, internet has tremendous impact because it helps in transferring data very fast. Okay, so after reading chapter, readers are expected to learn the fundamental of using internet basis source in environmental management, including online journals, websites and related research materials. So internet and environment. Primarily, scholars and students of environment management can surf internet to keep the track of environmental climate change related development in various parts of the world. Secondly, EM practices employed by global NGOs that can also be known through internet. Thirdly, one can read the UN documents, best practices manuals. These also can be done through internet because they are available online. Fourthly, best environmental related journals such as Nature, etc. are available on the internet. Fifth, students must be given the exposure to the vast resources available on the internet. Sixthly, due to increasing awareness on environment, the private sector players are also investigating measures on environmental management. Major websites are United Nations UN, www.un.org, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MEVE-12, Central Pollution Board, CPCB, and State Pollution Board, SPCB, and Environmental Acts. So, United Nations, it responds to the growing worldwide concern with environmental issues, and the General Assembly organizing the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment. The United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, the leading global environment authority that sets up goals for environmental agenda. Then UNEP, these include the following: the Convention on Biological Diversity, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, the Minamata Convention on Mercury, the Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm Conventions, the Vienna Convention for Protection of Ozone Layer, and the Montreal Protocol. These all we have already discussed. The Convention on Migratory Species, the Carpathian Convention, the Bamako Convention, and the Tehran Convention. So, International Union for Conservation of Natural and Natural Resources. Okay, it's the IUCN, Permanent Observer Mission to the United Nations, was established 17 December 1999 as an environmental issue, continue to assume a great role in many multilateral organizations. The IUCN is a membership union composed of both government and civil society organizations. It harnesses the expenditure, resource, and the reach for its more than 1,400 member organizations and the input for more than 17,000 experts. IUCN has offices in more than 50 countries and run projects all over the world. And IUCN have member organizations and state members in more than 160 countries and network of over 17,000 volunteer scientists. The IUCN red list of threatened species to know which species are threatened. Assess risk for both plant and animal species extinction. The IUCN red list of ecosystem assessment, risk of ecosystem collapse. The IUCN World Heritage Outlook Assessment, World Heritage Sites over time. The World Database of Key Biodiversity Area, assess site importance for diversity. Protect Planet Assessment, Protection Area. Ecologs provides a gateway to environmental law. Panorama provides practical solution for sustainable development, and one can directly access from the website http://www.iucn.org resource conversion tools. The Ministry of Environmental, Forest and Climate Change, India. Okay, this website gives the system of parliamentary system of government. The section seeks to introduce the Constitution of India to its origin, its parliament, various acts and rules. Then Basic Center for Faculty of Marine Research of Annamalia University. This is to provide details information about the center and marine life. Okay. Then National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management, NCSCS, led its better protection and conservation, rehabilitation, management and policy design of the coast. Foundation for Revitalization of Local Health Tradition, FRLHT. Okay. Excellence on Medicinal Plant and Traditional Knowledge. Salim Ali Center for Information and Ornithology and Natural History. Center for Studies in Ornithology and Natural History. Center for Mining Environment, CME. User can get information about the role of CME in carrying out research and training in the area of mining environment. Animal Welfare Division, MOEFCC. Users can access information on legislation and scheme of the division, details on good practices on animal experimentation. Demand for grant, MOEF. The portal gives details of demand for grant for MOE. User can get details about the grant amount and related spending details. Parivesh. Proactive and responsive facilitation by interaction and virtuous environment, single window hub, the web-based role-based workflow application which have been developed for online submission and monitoring of the proposal submitted by the proponents for seeking environment, forest, wildlife, and CRG cleanliness. Zoological Survey of India and Botanical Survey of India. These two organizations mainly focuses on conserving of the animals and the plants. Okay. Society of Integrated Coastal Management. It is mainly for the preservation of the coastal areas. Information on fellowship and awards of MEVE. Several links have been given them for fellowship and awards. Users can get details and information on Indian Forest Services, IFS. User can get details for rule and regulation of IFS. And information about Manas Tiger Reserve in Assam. About Manas Tiger Reserve in Assam, get details about forest type, major flora and fauna. Then information on animal welfare laws. Info about the Act, rules and notifications on animal welfare are provided MEVE-FCC. Then information on National River Conservation Plan. The National River Conservation Plan, NRCP, by the MEVE aims at preventing pollution of rivers and improving water quality. Information on National Environment Appellate Authority, NEAA. National Environment Authority was established under the provision of the National Environmental Appellate Authority Act 1997 to hear appeals with respect to the restriction of areas in which any industries, operations or processes or class of industries, operation or processes shall not be carried out or shall be carried out subjected to certain safeguards under environmental protection. Then information on wildlife laws. Okay, the Government of India wildlife laws protection and how to protect them. Then information on beach environment and aesthetic management systems, plan of sustainable tourism and health coastal management. Performance on form of MEVE-FCC performs for laboratory recognition under Environmental Protection Act. Then good practices in environmental regulation. Then several regulatory functions are part of the mandate of the MEVE-FCC. The National Environmental Policy, NEP. There is another name for NEP also, New Education Policy, but this is different, National Environmental Policy. Okay, it is Act on the Conservation of Nature. Then Policy Statement on Environment and Forest by MEVE-FCC. Detail about the policy statement on environment and forest. National Forest Policy, NFS, 1988. Details about National Forest Policy by MEVE are given. National Biodiversity Authority. It acts on the conservation of the biodiversity. Then legislation on environment, forest and wildlife. One can find a legislation means the laws related to environment, forest and wildlife. United Nations Convention to combat desertification, established in the United Nations to reduce the desertification of land. National Environmental Tribunal in 1990, central government established National Environmental Tribunal to provide for strict liability of damage arising out of accident caused from the handling of hazardous substance. Green Tribunal Act. National Green Tribunal Act is a specialized body equipped with the necessary expertise to handle environmental disputes involving multidisciplinary issues. Then Public Liability Insurance Act 1991. The main objective of this act is to provide for damage to the victims of any accident which occur as a result of handling any hazardous substance. Then Major Forest Act, State, Union Territory, Minor Forest Product Forest, the Indian Forest Act. Major Forest Rule, GSR 23, GSR 719. Reserve draft on inspection, monitoring and verification and overall procedure related to grant of forest clearance. Climate Change Division, India. The Climate Change Division of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in India, nodal agency for climate change and cooperation and global negotiation. Right to Ministry of Environment and Forest. Users can write to send their suggestion or comments to the MEVE Central Pollution Control Board, we all know that it is for to control pollution. Then state pollution for state level. Okay. See, every state has its own pollution board. Okay. And these are their websites. List of pollution control committee websites. Then the legislation, Environment Protection Act, enacted in 1986 with the objective of providing for the protection and improvement of the environment. So water, prevention and control for water pollution. Then air, prevention and control of air. Then the noise pollution, regulation and control. Then monitoring and disaster management system, National Natural Resource Management System on bioresource and environment. So it's established under the Aging Planning of Commission of India, and the mandate of NMRI has been to promote the use of high technology inputs such as remote sensing, geographic information, GIS and GPS in conjugation with the conventional technique methods for national development application, including natural resources management, environmental monitoring and disaster management. The Internet of Things, LOT. CASGARS defines the LOT as CASGARS to handle a global network infrastructure, link physical and virtual objects through the exploration of data capture and communication capability. Google. Your portal battery low हो गया हाँ so these all come under your internet and environment. How we can use internet to search environmental related things, okay, and how we can fully use them to understand environmental acts and different policies related to the environment. So any doubts in that?
No, sir. It is very difficult to remember all the policies.
Yeah, that's fine. I think so. You should be remembering some important one, so that because I think so when the question comes, they will be asking, give few example of this and that like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So like this full form means full form question that's not as suppose 10 full forms, 10 marks like that. It will not ask.
No, it means some main one like pollution control board. Okay, all these things are quite common. So if you remember up to 5 to 6 main of them, you can easily answer them.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So next someone come to environmental governance. Am I audible? Because I just
Yes,
changed
sir.
my earphone. Okay. So environmental governance was the process of decision making involving in the control and management of environment and natural resources. So this you already know, environment includes water, air, soil. I don't need to discuss it anymore. Then global environmental governance. At the international level, global environmental governance is a sum of organization, policy, instruments, financial mechanism, rules, procedures, treaties, convention and norms that regulate the processes of global environmental protection. United Nations Conference on the Human Environment UNCHE held on Stockholm, Sweden in 1970 was a watershed in the emergence of sustainable development. Sustainable development, I don't need to tell you. I've been telling this in last 3 days. Sustainable development, sustainable development, sustainable development. Though we are not doing any sustainable development. Earth Summit, this also I have already discussed with you. See, this is one of the advantage of this paper. Many things will be repeated in every unit. So if you go thoroughly through the papers and mug up those things, then it will be helpful in all the papers. Okay? In all the
Yes,
units,
sir.
it will be helpful. Yes.
Once you read
Like
it,
Earth Summit, sustainable development.
yes, sir.
Yes. So please go through them in that way and give more focus on those areas which are common everywhere. These things we have already discussed. Then multilateral environmental agreement (MEES). These have been a series of conferences of parties of various multilateral environmental agreements related to climate change, biodiversity, conservation, ozone and depletion. These also we have discussed before. So intention of such global environment governance were to bring this planet Earth back to a habitable situation, not only for this generation but also for the future generation. Paris Agreement also we have discussed before. MDGs also we have already discussed. Millennium Development Goal to Sustainable Development Goal (SDGs). We are getting things. How many common things are there in all units? Then environmental governance in India. Okay, this is new. So the evolution of environmental governance in India, conference Stockholm in 1972 and another at Rio de Janeiro in 1992 on environmental development have influenced environmental policies in India. First is Constitutional Amendment. In 1976, environmental protection did not appear anywhere in the Constitution. Consequently, environmental jurisprudence was also an unknown affiliation for the Indian judiciary. So the 42 Constitutional Amendment made in 1976 changed this landscape by including Article 45, 48A5 and Article 51A G into the myopic document. Starting from year 1980, the court has developed about green constitution law and strict liabilities and article protecting rights to life as a fundamental right. So first constitution did not have this, had it. So India's green constitution now guarantees a right to healthy environment, right to clean air, right to clean water, enjoins the state and its agencies to strictly enforce environmental laws. Significant environmental principles like polluters, pays, precautionary principles, sustainable development, public trust, doctorate and intergenerational equity have become entrenched in the Indian law. Actions which are commonly mentioned in government studios are public authority, city governments, national governments, sub-national governments, international actors, international organizations, donor agencies, then civil society, NGOs, associates. Then environmental governance institutions in India at national level, the parliament enacts legislation on environmental and looks out for the affairs on the recommendation and report of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, MOEFCC. Then environmental governance process. So environmental governance could be both centralized and decentralized. In centralized top-down approach, the policies and plans are adopted and decisions are taken by the government following a centralized way of consultation among the technocrat and bureaucrat of different government ministers and departments. Factor responsible good governance. First is accountability and transparency that we already know. Things should be transparent, everyone and always available to everyone, and one should be accountable for it. Then participation and conscientious, the development of PIL, public interest litigation, and the opening up of right of standards and important steps taken by Indian judiciary to promote participation and consciousness. Okay. In Delhi, the activity of the court created a dynamic where NGOs and citizens movement become aware of this mechanism, act, organized themselves, and brought new issues into discussion. Then effectiveness and sustainability. The concept of effectiveness and sustainability refers to the achievement of expected policy objectives. Judges contribute here by ensuring the enforcement of legal norms. The main objective are to implement the decision made at the UN Conference on Human Environment led to Stockholm in June 1972 to enact a general law on the area of environmental protection which were left uncovered by existing laws. The existing laws were more specific in nature and concentrated on a more specific type of pollution and specific category of hazardous substances rather than on general problems that chiefly cause major environmental hazards. To coordinate activities of various regulatory agencies under the existing laws, to provide for the creation of an authority or authorities for environmental protection, to provide deterrent punishment to those who endanger the human environment, safety and health. Soon after enacting EPA 1986, a landmark judgment was decided by Supreme Court of India in the MC Mehta versus Union of India oleum gas leak case, where the court propounded the state of absolute liability for the payment of compensation to those by the accident in case of industry engaged in the hazardous of inherent and dangerous activity as opposed to the prevalent notion of the strictly liable under the Rayland versus Fletcher standard. So green construction now guarantees the right to healthy environment, right to clean air, right to clean water. Significant environmental principles like polluter pay, precautionary principles, sustainable development, public trust doctrine, and institutional equity have become entrenched in Indian law without explicit incorporation in any legislative framework. The court employs the precautionary principle to invent the special principles of burden of proof of the environment cause and burden as to the absence of injurious effects of the action proposed is placed on those who want to change the status quo. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, we have already discussed about it, MOEF. Objective is conservation and survey of flora, fauna, forest and wildlife, preservation and control of pollution, afforestation and regeneration of degraded areas, protection of environment, and ensuring the welfare of animals. See, these are again repeating themselves also. CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. We know what it does, the perform function as laid down under the Water Air Prevention Act. Advising the central and state government on matters related to prevention, improvement and control of air and water pollution, planning various programs to control and prevent air and water pollution, Planning and organizing training program for people involved in activities for the prevention, improvement and control of air and water pollution. Collecting, compiling and publishing statistical and technical reports related to air and water pollution. These reports are used to develop preventive measures, then preparing manuals, codes and guidelines related to treatment and disposal of sewage and trade influences as well as for stack gas cleaning devices, stacks and dust. Activities of CP, coordinate activities of State Pollution Control Board for preventing and control of pollution, development of industries specific national mineral effluent and emission standard, development of industry-specific environmental guidelines and comprehensive documents, development of charters, requirements for the corporate responsibility of the environmental protection, action plan for improvement of environment in 8 critical polluted areas and monitoring progress. Action plan for improvement to fair quality in 16 polluted cities and monitoring progress. National Water Quality Monitoring and Publishing Annually Water Quality Report. National Ambient Air Quality Monitoring and Publishing Annual Report. Quality Report. Carrying out and sponsoring research activities relevant to environmental protection. In publishing material relevant to the environmental protection. Then organization structure. State Pollution Board, SPCB. Their objective also we know to check the pollution of natural resources in states. Functions are planning a comprehensive program for prevention, control and abatement of pollution of streams and wells. Advising the central government regarding water pollution control or local location of industries, conducting and encouraging investigations and research related to different aspects of water pollution, to collaborate with the Central Board for training personnel for handling water pollution program and organizing related mass education program, inspect trade effluents and wastewater treatment plants, prescribe effluent standards for the sewage and trade effluents, evolving economical and reliable methods of disposal, treatment and reuse of wastewater, laying down the standards of treatment of sewage and trade effluents to be discharged into any stream, making, varying or revoking any order for preventing or control of discharge of waste into streams and wells and constructing a system for disposal of effluents, establishing or recognizing laboratories for analysis of samples, performing such functions as may be entrusted by central board or state government. Beside above mentioned Act, SPC also enforces the provisions of following Acts: manufacture, storage and import of hazardous chemical rules, manufacture, use, import, export and storage of hazardous microorganisms, genetically engineered organisms or cell rules, then Public Liabilities Insurance Act, environmental impact assessment notification, chemical accident, biomedical waste, fly ash act, municipal solid waste, noise, ozone depletion substance. Batteries, charge, Sarapagian pollution, environmental impact assessment notification date, hazardous waste and plastic waste. Power is the power to obtain information. It can gather information from any source. Power to take samples. They can take samples from different industries to test them. Power to entry and inspect. They can enter any organization and inspect it. Power to prohibit on disposal of polluted matter into the stream. In under section 24C, no person shall knowingly allow entry of any poisonous, noxious or polluted matter directly or indirectly into any stream. No person shall knowingly allow entry of any matter into any stream which may impede the proper flow of water, resulting in substantial aggregation of the pollution. No person shall establish any industry, operation or process or any treatment disposal system which is likely to discharge any sewage or influence into stream or well. No person shall use any new outlet for discharge of sewage. No person shall begin to make any new discharges of sewage. In National Environmental Policy, NEP, is a first initiative in strategy formulation for environmental protection. So about environment management, which includes national forest policy, policy statement on abatement of pollution, sector-based policies, national agriculture policy, national pollution policy, and national population policy, national water policy, and national environmental policy. So NEP proposes economic efficiency, criterion in environmental conservation. It stresses on the polluter pay principle as well as cost benefit optimization. These concepts are vital in order to solve environmental problems effectively. It also talks about dealing with environmental damaging behaviors on the basis of civil suits. The National Environmental Policy (NEP) is intended to guide the government in bringing about regulatory reforms, implementation of programs and projects for environmental conservation besides reviewing the enacting legislation. Environmental impact assessment continues to be the principal method for appraisal and review of new projects. An NEP visits the coastal regulation zone, notifying to make the approaches to coastal environment regulation more holistic and thereby ensuring protection to the coastal ecological system. Involvement of Panchayat Raj institutions and urban local bodies have been highlighted in the NEP that will include capacity development initiatives. The fundamental problems in environment management is that the costs and benefits are shouldered generally. Such ownership or stewardship of natural resources by the communities that are affected directly by these resources, creating a framework that is able to resolve the precise conflict between human and ecology. See, this take your progress, you can go through these questions also of the exercise to practice. Because if you practice these also, it will be easier for you to answer the questions which comes in the exam.
Sir,
Okay, so that's all for this.
in this
Yes.
unit, no, so many pages are not given in the book from the beginning.
Okay. Okay, I can share this PDF. Just
Ha.
tell me, I will share it.
Okay,
All
sir.
the four I will be sharing.
That
Just
progress.
send me a hi or something in the what in my WhatsApp number or in the group also. If you'll ask, I can share it.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
progress question also not given. Uh, two,
Okay.
three.
Okay. And
Okay, sir.
moreover, these are also available online. You can in
Ha.
that mail. No, there is a link. No e-course. From
Okay.
there only I have downloaded. You can download it also.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, I will be sharing it. No issue.
Just send it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Any doubts?
No, sir, we are not read. These are we have to remember so many things. Oh, understand this. Not easy.
Actually, there is not much means very hard things are not there, but you have to remember things. That is the main
Yes, sir.
problem
Yes,
here. They are very means there is nothing complicated here, but many things you have to remember.
yes, sir.
Okay. If any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, see you next time.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone else having any doubts also can clarify. There is 10 minutes for us to do all these things. I am available for the 10 minutes also. Any doubts you can clarify now also. And if anybody wants these notes and anything or there is an issue, you can directly contact me also.
Sir, ITC full form 3, 4 are coming. So what it will be there?
ITC.
Hmm.
ITC means about the industry you are asking or something else?
No, no, that Infosys, Adidas, I think international trade
Okay,
center.
the ITC is a company. ITC is a company actually. You can see the products, the biscuit and everything, Sunfish.
Uh-huh.
That is the ITC. That is a company.
Okay, sir.
Okay. It
Hmm.
has hotels. Okay,
Ah,
ITC Limited has diverse. Okay, ITC is a company.
hmm.
Okay, it's a brand. It has food products also. Okay, and businesses like what you can say, uh, businesses and hotels and all these comes under ITC Limited. So it was first named as Imperial Tobacco Company of India Limited, succeeding Imperial brand and WD Hall. Okay. After that, it was renamed as ITC, Imperial Tobacco Company of India, ITC. Later, it was known as ITC Limited. So it is an Indian company. Any other doubts? There are 7 more minutes also. You can ask.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, from every unit, 2, 3 question, minimum three question will ask, no?
Yes, yes. And there will be options also. One long question, two short notes, or two long question, or four short notes like this will also be coming. Out of which you have to do two short questions or one long question.
Yes, sir. No, out of this
So
4 unit, which is very important, more question can come. Environmental
I think
management.
that the first
Uh,
two units are more important because they have totally new things. The next units are just repetition with only 30 to 40% new things.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Must be.
Sir, नमस्कार
Hello.
सर नमस्कार सर
Yeah.
सर सर पीडीएफ सर पठेइबे पीडीएफ
PDF.
पीडीएफ
हाँ
यस
हाँ ठीक अच्छे मतलब मो व्हाट्सएप रे हाई पठेइदो मो सेठी पीडीएफ शेयर कर देबी मो व्हाट्सएप
यस
नंबर अछि तम पाखरे
अरे ना नहीं
लेख 8270
Sir, ଆପଣ ତ ଗ୍ରୁପ ରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି ସେଇଥିରେ ପକେଇଦେବେ।
और ग्रुप रे पठेइ देबी तो ओके निराकार बाबू तमे अच्छो ग्रुप रे
ହଁ ସାର୍ ଅଛି ଗ୍ରୁପ।
आइस
ओके ओके ठीक अच्छे मो ग्रुप रे ही शेयर कर देबी सबको ओके नो इश्यू
आइस
आज ग्रुप रे टिके गोटे मेसेज कर दियो जे सर प्लीज शेयर द पीडीएफ मु शेयर कर देबी
ओके सर।
यस
ओके
यस
okay so now I think we should end the meeting everything is clear by now
यस सर।
यस
थैंक यू
okay okay welcome I am sorry today I was able to join late because of this power cut and weather problem. Sorry for that. I had kept you all waiting for half an hour.
नो इशू सर। वी आर डिस्कस।
यस
Okay. Okay. Now we may leave. Good night all
गुड
and
नाइट
all
सर।
the best for the exam.
थैंक
Okay.
यू।
Okay.